Keep listening to English every single day helps improve your understanding and speaking naturally. It trains your ears to recognize words, sounds, and phrases. Daily practice builds confidence, vocabulary, and fluency. Stay patient and consistent. The more you listen, the more confident you'll become in speaking and understanding English fluently. The phrase "under the weather" is an idiom in English. It means not feeling well or feeling a little sick. It doesn't usually mean something very serious, but more like having a cold, headache, or just feeling tired and unwell. The phrase "under the weather" means feeling unwell or sick. Here are some example sentences with the phrase "under the weather." 1. I couldn't go to work today because I was feeling under the weather. 2. She looks a bit under the weather. Maybe she has a cold. 3. After eating too much last night, I felt under the weather this morning. 4. Don't worry if he's quiet today, he's just a little under the weather. 5. I'm sorry I can't join you for dinner. I'm feeling under the weather. 6. He's been under the weather since yesterday, so he stayed home to rest. 7. My teacher was a bit under the weather, but she still taught the class. 8. Whenever the weather changes, I feel a little under the weather. 9. She decided to skip the gym because she was under the weather. 10. You should get some rest if you're feeling under the weather. The phrase "under the weather" means not feeling well, usually a little sick, tired, or weak. Here is my story about when I was under the weather. I couldn't go to work because I felt weak and tired. My head was heavy, and my body had no energy. I stayed home, drank warm tea, and took some medicine. Resting in bed helped me feel calm. Even though I missed work, I learned that health is important and taking care of myself comes first. I couldn't go to work today because I was feeling under the weather. This morning was very different from my usual mornings. Normally, I wake up with my alarm, stretch a little, and prepare myself for another busy day at work. But today, as soon as I opened my eyes, I knew something was not right. My body felt heavy, my head was aching, and I simply did not have the energy to get out of bed. It was clear to me that I was under the weather. Because of this, I made the decision that I couldn't go to work today. At first, I felt guilty. Missing work is not something I like to do. I believe in being responsible, reliable, and present. However, sometimes our bodies send us signals that we cannot ignore. Feeling under the weather is one of those signals. It tells us that our body needs rest, care, and time to recover. If we ignore these signs, we might get even worse, and then we will be unable to perform well at work or in our personal life. As I lay in bed, I thought about how important health really is. People often say that health is wealth, and today I truly understood that. Without good health, it is hard to focus, hard to be productive, and hard to enjoy life. Even though missing one day of work may feel like a loss, it is actually an investment in myself. By allowing my body to rest, I am giving myself the chance to return to work healthier, stronger, and with more energy. I sent a quick message to my manager explaining that I was feeling unwell and would not be able to come in. Thankfully, my workplace is understanding when it comes to health issues. My manager told me to take care of myself and to return only when I was better. That response lifted a weight off my shoulders because it reminded me that everyone gets sick from time to time. No matter how dedicated we are still human. The rest of the morning was quiet. I stayed in bed, drank warm water, and took some medicine for my headache. While resting, I reflected on the phrase, "under the weather." It is such a simple phrase, yet it carries so much meaning. It doesn't mean just being sick. It often means feeling weak, low in energy, or not in our best condition. Sometimes it is a cold, sometimes it is fatigue, and sometimes it is just the body asking for a break. As I thought about this, I realized how important it is to listen to ourselves. In today's busy world, people often push themselves too hard. They work long hours, skip meals, and forget to sleep enough. Over time, the body becomes tired and eventually breaks down. That is when people find themselves under the weather. So in a way, being sick is not only about germs or viruses. Sometimes it is about the lifestyle we choose. I asked myself, have I been taking good care of my health lately? Honestly, the answer was no. I had been staying up late at night, eating too much fast food, and drinking too much coffee. My body had been running on low energy for weeks, and now it was finally showing me the result. Maybe this day at home was not just about being sick, but also about learning a lesson. Health must come first. During the afternoon, I tried to rest more, but I also allowed myself to enjoy some small things that I usually do not have time for. I listened to calming music, read a few pages of a book, and even took a nap without feeling guilty. These small acts reminded me that slowing down is not a weakness. It is actually a form of self-respect. When evening came, I felt a little better. My headache had reduced and I felt slightly more energetic. I thought about tomorrow, whether I would be able to return to work, or if I should take another day off. I decided not to rush the recovery. If I am still under the weather, I will allow myself another day to rest. Work will always be there, but my health is irreplaceable. Another thought that came to me today is how sickness connects us all as human beings. No matter our job, status, or responsibilities, everyone experiences moments when they are not well. It is a reminder of our shared humanity. It also builds empathy. The next time a coworker tells me they are sick, I will understand them more deeply because I have been in their situation. I also realize the importance of workplaces that respect health. Some people work in environments where taking a sick day is seen as laziness or irresponsibility. But in reality, working while sick can lead to bigger problems, like spreading illness to others or reducing the quality of work. A healthy work culture is one that values well-being as much as performance. I am grateful that my workplace understands this balance. In the end, even though today was not productive in the usual sense, it was meaningful. It reminded me of the importance of rest, self-care, and listening to my body. It also reminded me that sometimes, slowing down is the most responsible thing we can do. Missing work is never easy, but protecting my health is always the right choice. So while I couldn't go to work today because I was under the weather, I gained something else. Awareness. Awareness that health is fragile. Awareness that rest is necessary, and awareness that caring for ourselves is not selfish, but wise. Tomorrow, I may return to work feeling better. Or I may take another day to heal fully. Either way, I know now that being under the weather is not just about being sick. It is a gentle reminder from life that we must pause, breathe, and take care of ourselves. Another reflection on being under the weather. When I think more deeply about today, I realize that being under the weather is not just about one day of sickness. It is a mirror that shows me how I live my life every single day. Missing work today gave me time to reflect on my habits, my lifestyle, and even my priorities. In our modern world, we often believe that being busy equals being successful. We wake up early, rush to work, drink coffee instead of eating breakfast, and spend long hours in front of a screen. At night, we stay up late, either working more or scrolling endlessly on our phones. For a while, this lifestyle might feel normal. But sooner or later, the body sends us a message. That message may come in the form of a headache, a fever, or just the feeling of being not quite right. That was my message today. I realized that I had been ignoring my body's signals for too long. Over the past few weeks, I had felt tired but kept pushing forward. I told myself, just one more day, just one more task, and then I'll rest. But rest never came because new responsibilities always appeared. Finally, my body forced me to stop. Being under the weather is sometimes our body's way of saying, enough. Slow down. While lying in bed today, I thought about how often people sacrifice their health for work. Some people drag themselves to the office even when they are sick, afraid of being judged or falling behind. But does that really help anyone? A sick person at work cannot perform at their best, and sometimes they spread their illness to others. In the long run, this harms both the person and the workplace. Taking a sick day should not be seen as a weakness. Instead, it should be viewed as a smart decision. By staying home today, I gave myself time to recover and prevented the possibility of spreading germs to my coworkers. I also created space for my body to regain energy. When I return, I will be able to give my best again. As I rested, I thought about the importance of balance. Work is important, yes. It gives us purpose, income, and a sense of achievement. But life is not only about work. Life is also about health, relationships, peace of mind, and happiness. If we forget these things, then our work loses its meaning. Today, while I missed out on tasks at the office, I gained something valuable. Time for myself. I also realized how small acts of self-care can make a big difference. Drinking warm tea, breathing slowly, and simply lying quietly helped me feel better little by little. It reminded me that healing does not always come from big actions. Sometimes it comes from simple rest. The world outside continued moving, but I stayed still, and that stillness became healing. Later in the day, I started thinking about gratitude. Even though I felt weak, I was grateful for many things. I was grateful for having a safe home where I could rest. I was grateful for supportive colleagues who understood my absence. I was grateful for medicine, warm food, and clean water, things that make recovery easier. Gratitude changed the way I saw the situation. Instead of feeling upset about being under the weather, I started to see it as a chance to slow down and appreciate the basics of life. Another thought came to me. How often do we take our health for granted? On normal days, when our body works fine, we rarely stop to appreciate it. We eat, walk, breathe, and move without thinking. But the moment we fall sick, we realize how valuable these simple abilities are. Today, even sitting up in bed felt like a small challenge. That small struggle reminded me that good health is a gift I should not ignore. I also thought about prevention. Of course, we cannot always avoid getting sick, but we can reduce the chances by taking care of ourselves regularly. Eating healthy food, sleeping enough, exercising, and managing stress are all ways to protect our body. If I had been more careful with these habits, maybe I would not have been under the weather today. At one point in the afternoon, I wondered what my coworkers were doing. Were they having a busy day? Did they notice my absence? For a moment, I worried about falling behind. But then I reminded myself, work will always be there. Tasks can wait. What cannot wait is my health. My body needed attention today, and I gave it what it asked for. As the hours passed, I began to see being under the weather as more than just a physical condition. It also became a mental and emotional lesson. It taught me patience. It taught me to let go of control. And it taught me that sometimes doing nothing is the most important thing we can do. By evening, I felt a little stronger, though not fully recovered. I took a slow walk around my room, stretched my arms, and opened the window to breathe fresh air. The world outside was calm, and I felt calm too. I knew I was not ready for work tomorrow yet, but I also knew that healing was happening step by step. I told myself that from now on, I would treat my health as a priority, not an afterthought. I will try to sleep earlier, eat more vegetables and fruits, drink more water, and spend less time stressing over things I cannot control. Being under the weather today was uncomfortable, but it was also a wake-up call. In the bigger picture of life, one sick day is nothing, but the lessons learned from it can last forever. I now understand that health is the foundation of everything. Without it, work, money, and even dreams lose their meaning. With it, life becomes brighter, more joyful, and more possible. So yes, I couldn't go to work today because I was feeling under the weather. But maybe, in another sense, I did go to work. The work of taking care of myself. That is the most important work of all. Beep.